In the vast, silent expanse of Antarctica, where the wind whispers secrets across endless ice, lived a penguin named Pip. He wasn't the biggest, nor the strongest, but his heart held the courage of 100 leaders. He watched over his colony, a bustling city of black and white, ensuring every chick was fed, every family safe. Their life was a simple, happy rhythm of fishing, waddling, and huddling against the cold. But a deep, ancient cold was stirring, one far more sinister than any polar wind. Beneath the colossal ice shelf, in the abyssal dark, something had awakened, an entity of myth, the Ice Kraken. Its sleep disturbed, its massive form began to shift, its tentacles, crystalline and cruel, uncoiling like frozen serpents. With every movement, a chilling energy pulsed outwards, seeping into the very heart of the glacier. The water around the colony's fishing grounds grew unnaturally cold, the fish disappearing into the frigid depths. The first sign of the horror was a fishing party that didn't return. Then a patrol of skua birds, sent to investigate, vanished from the sky. A terrifying stillness began to grip the colony. One day, the ice beneath them groaned, and a colossal tentacle, shimmering with an unholy blue light, burst through the surface. It swept across the edge of the colony, and everything it touched penguins, ice, the very air was flash frozen into brittle, lifeless statues. Panic erupted. Pip knew fear, but he also knew duty. While others scattered in terror, he stood firm. He slid to the highest ice ridge, his sharp calls cutting through the chaos. "We will not fall. We will not freeze. This is our home." His voice, filled with unwavering resolve, rallied the panicked hearts of his colony. They looked to him, their small, brave leader, and found a spark of hope in the face of an impossible nightmare. Pip knew the penguins couldn't fight this monster alone. He had to build an army. He journeyed across the treacherous, cracking ice, his mission desperate. First, he found the seals, sleek, powerful hunters of the deep. He spoke to their elder, a massive bull with scars from 100 battles, convincing him that the Kraken's frost would eventually claim their waters too. The seals, seeing the truth in his words, pledged their strength to his cause. Next, he sought the giants of the ocean, the whales. He called from the edge of the ice floe, his voice a small plea against the vastness, until a wise old humpback surfaced, its eye the size of a boulder. Pip told of the creeping ice, the stolen life, and the existential threat to all. Moved by the penguin's courage, the whale sang a deep, resonant song that echoed through the ocean, summoning its pod. The titans of the deep had joined the fight. Finally, he looked to the sky. He negotiated with the fierce skuas and the swift petrels, birds who had lost their own to the Kraken's touch. He promised them a world free from the creeping, silent death. An unprecedented alliance was forged, a coalition of feather, fur, and fin, united against the encroaching frost. The great army of the Antarctic was assembled, with a single, small penguin at its head. The stage was set for a war across the roof of the world. The battle began at dawn. The Kraken, now fully risen, was a mountain of jagged ice and writhing tentacles. Pip's army charged. The seals, agile and powerful, launched themselves from the water, biting and tearing at the smaller tentacles, trying to create an opening. Whales breached the surface with colossal force, their immense bodies crashing down, attempting to shatter the larger limbs of ice. From the sky, the bird squadrons dove in coordinated strikes, their sharp beaks pecking at the creature's frosty hide, a blizzard of feathered fury. But the Kraken was a force of nature. For every tentacle they shattered, two more seemed to rise from the depths. Its icy touch was absolute. A seal that got too close was instantly encased in a tomb of ice. A bird that flew too low fell from the sky like a frozen stone. The glacier became a chaotic battlefield of valiant charges and tragic losses. Pip watched from his command post, his heart aching with every fallen soldier. He knew this war of attrition was one they could not win. They were fighting the symptoms, not the source. He remembered the tales of the ancient ones, whispers of a glowing heart, a core of power that gave such creatures life. The idea was insane, suicidal, but it was their only chance. While his army created the ultimate distraction, Pip would do the unthinkable. He would dive into the freezing abyss, straight into the monster's lair, and strike at its very heart. He gave the signal for the final, desperate charge. The whales sang their loudest war song, the seals roared, and the birds screamed their defiance, throwing themselves at the Kraken in a glorious, chaotic assault. Under the cover of the battle's peak, Pip took a deep breath and plunged into the icy water. The cold was a physical blow, stealing the air from his lungs. He swam deeper and deeper, past the twisting, thrashing underbelly of the Kraken. The pressure mounted, his vision blurred, but he pushed on, guided by a faint, pulsating blue light. There it was. Suspended within the Kraken's central mass was a glowing, crystalline core, the source of its power, beating like a frozen heart. Gathering all his speed, all his courage, all the hope of his people, Pip became a living torpedo. He aimed his small, resilient body directly at the core. The impact was immense. A silent, brilliant flash of blue light erupted from the depths. On the surface, the great battle suddenly ceased. The Kraken froze mid-motion, a silent, colossal statue. Then, with a deafening crack that echoed across the continent, the creature shattered. The explosion sent a shockwave that splintered the entire ice shelf. The sea churned as colossal shards of the Kraken and the glacier were thrown into the air. Pip was caught in the maelstrom, tossed and turned in the violent water. When the chaos subsided, he found himself on a small piece of floating ice, bruised but alive. Slowly, the unnatural cold receded. The sun felt warmer. The water began to move with its old, familiar rhythm. He returned not to a colony, but to a nation of heroes. Seals, whales, and birds gathered as he waddled ashore. A cheer went up, a cacophony of barks, songs, and cries that celebrated their impossible victory. Pip was no longer just a leader, he was a legend. The penguin who dove into darkness and brought back the sun. His home was safe, freed from the eternal frost, and his story would be etched into the ice for generations to come, a testament to the fact that even the smallest heart can hold the greatest courage. Thank you so much for watching this epic tale. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you never miss another adventure. We'll see you in the next video.